There's something at the bottom of probably half the potted plants in your home right now: gravel, broken terracotta shards, a handful of sand or pebbles someone passed along as a tip. And whoever told you to do it genuinely meant well. It sounds completely logical. You want drainage. Gravel drains. Put gravel at the bottom. Done. The problem is, it's doing the exact opposite of what you think it's doing. And there's real research behind that. So let's actually talk about what happens inside that pot, because the physics of it is stranger than you'd expect. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The logic of the gravel layer goes like this. Water flows down, gravel has large gaps between the particles, therefore water will move through the gravel quickly and away from your roots. That's intuitive. That's sensible. And if you filled a bucket with gravel and poured water through it, you'd be right. But a pot isn't a bucket of gravel. It's a layered system, fine particled potting soil sitting on top of coarser gravel. And that specific arrangement is where everything goes sideways. Here's what's actually happening. Water moving downward through soil doesn't just keep going the moment it hits a different material. It doesn't work the way you picture it, one layer draining neatly into the next. What actually happens is that the fine particles of your potting mix hold on to water through capillary tension, and that tension doesn't release until the soil above is completely saturated. So, the water doesn't move into the gravel until the soil layer above has hit its maximum water holding capacity. Right. Which means you've created a zone of sustained saturation, a perched water table, sitting right above the layer you added specifically to prevent that. The gravel doesn't lower the water table. It raises it. It's like trying to drain a sponge by putting it on top of a dry rock. The sponge holds its water until it physically can't hold anymore, and only then does it release down into the rock. The rock didn't help the drainage. It just moved the floor up. And look, this isn't a theory. This is a documented phenomenon in soil science. Studies comparing layered containers to uniform containers consistently show that the layered setup retains more moisture in the upper portion of the growing medium. More moisture against the roots, which is the exact opposite of the outcome you were after. So the drainage layer you added to protect your plant is actually holding more water against its roots. Great system. If you've been watching this and thinking about the pots on your windowsill, I completely understand. The logic was sound. It just didn't match what water actually does when it moves through different particle sizes in a confined space. And here's the thing. Once you get that, the real solution is almost embarrassingly simple. If you want to keep learning exactly this kind of thing, practical gardening with the actual soil science behind it, subscribe. We break down container gardening conventional wisdom every week, and there is no shortage of tips that sound right and aren't. So, the fix. It's not about what goes at the bottom of the pot. It's about what fills the whole pot. The variable that actually determines drainage in a container is the quality and structure of your potting mix, not a drainage layer, not gravel, the soil itself. And this is where the difference between cheap potting mix and a well-aerated potting mix becomes genuinely important, not in a vague buy the good stuff way, but in a specific physical way you can understand. A cheap or old potting mix compresses. It loses its structure over time, and as it does, the spaces between particles close up. Water stops moving freely and starts sitting. It's like the difference between pouring water through a loosely packed coffee filter and a compacted one. Same material, completely different behavior. A well-structured potting mix, one with perlite, pumice, or coarse bark in it, maintains those spaces. It stays open. Water moves through it the way roots actually need, flowing down and out, not pooling and sitting. And the most underrated part of the whole system? The drainage hole? That sounds almost too obvious to say out loud, but the drainage hole is the actual mechanism that makes container drainage work. Without it, nothing you put in the pot changes what happens. Water accumulates at the bottom regardless of what layers you've built. With it, and with good soil structure, water has somewhere to go, and it goes there. That's the whole system. It's not complicated. Now, there's one thing worth mentioning about the saucer under your pot, because most people use one and don't think much about it. When water drains through the hole and collects in the saucer, it doesn't just sit there inert. The dry soil above will wick moisture back up through capillary action as it dries out. So your saucer is actually functioning as a very basic sub-irrigation reservoir, passively delivering moisture back upward as the roots need it. It's a simple system that most people accidentally already have working in their favor. Just don't let the saucer sit permanently flooded, and it does exactly what it should. And actually, if you do want to put something at the bottom of your container, there is one exception that genuinely makes sense. A small sponge. Not gravel, not pebbles, not broken pottery. A sponge. And the reason it works when gravel doesn't comes down to the same capillary physics that makes gravel fail. A sponge at the base of the pot holds moisture and releases it back upward into the soil above as that soil dries out. It's working with capillary action, not against it. You're essentially building a passive sub-irrigation system into the base of the pot, a small water reserve that feeds the roots from below rather than saturating them from above. Commercial versions of this exist, products designed specifically for sub-irrigation that operate on the same principle, and they work. The difference between this approach and the gravel approach is that the sponge is designed to interact with how water moves in fine particled growing media. The gravel is designed around how water moves in open space. The two are not the same environment. So if you've always felt like you needed to put something at the bottom, there's your honest, functional alternative. One small sponge. Done. But here's where I want to land because I think there's a broader point worth making. Container gardening mythology has accumulated a lot of complexity over the years. Drainage layers, specific gravel sizes, elaborate soil mixes with 15 ingredients. And some of it has a kernel of logic that got detached from the actual science somewhere along the way. What the research keeps pointing back to is simpler. Good drainage in a container comes from three things: soil structure, a drainage hole, and the right pot size for the root system. That's the system. It doesn't need gravel. The gravel tip persisted because it felt like an upgrade, like you were doing something extra for your plant. And the instinct behind it, give the roots somewhere to drain to, is a good instinct. It just got pointed at the wrong solution. So the fix isn't a layer of gravel. It never was. It's soil that drains because its structure lets it drain, a hole that lets water leave, and the simple physics of capillary action doing quietly what it's always done. Get those three things right, and your containers will drain better than any gravel layer ever made them drain. Before you go, drop a comment and tell me, what's the container gardening tip you followed for years before realizing it wasn't actually doing what you thought? Because I have a feeling the gravel layer isn't the only one.